Now the next problem is this of the persona personae. Persona is the Latin word for the mask worn by an actor. Each society has its wardrobe of personae for you. If we were here in Taos, let's say 250 years ago or something like that, we would be an American Indian community, and there'd be a totally different set of personae, tasks to do. These are the Völkergedanken. These are the folk ideas. This is the system of transformations that we have to live with. And it's through the personae of the society that one comes into relationship to other human beings and also into the world of nature, which means into the world of one's own character. These will differ from one society to another. Now, in a traditional society, and the supreme example is traditional India, the individual is meant to identify with the persona. He is to live in terms of what is called the dharma, the duty system that is put upon him. And he is a Brahmin. He is a warrior. He is a merchant. He isn't playing the role. He is it. In our modern Western society, which has much more respect for the individual values and individuality, the person who identifies himself with his role, we call a stuffed shirt. You have to put the role off and put it on again. It's not part of you. The executive comes home in the evening and is met by the executive's wife. The executive plays ball with the executive's son for a little while. And then later in the night, the wife will have the privilege of going to bed with an executive. And this is the thorough stuffed shirt. Not only are you, in our society, supposed simply to put the role on and put it off, but also you're supposed to develop your critical faculties. This is the function of ego, of which the Orient and traditional societies know nothing. The whole character of Oriental thinking is elimination of ego, which in Sanskrit is called ahankara, making the noise I. By eliminating ego, annihilating the critical faculty, you identify with the role that the society has put upon you. In other words, what we think of as the creative faculty is completely gone. Now, this is one of the problems when a Western person goes to an Oriental guru to become illuminated. The Oriental person has a relatively fragile ego. But we have been asked ever since childhood, you know, Johnny, would you like chocolate or vanilla ice cream? I want strawberry. So we go out and get strawberry ice cream for the kid. We're even allowed to choose our wives and husbands. This doesn't happen in the East. Life happens to people in the East. They don't choose it. And so this faculty, this judging, this evaluating, this accepting responsibility faculty is not developed. So a Western person with a developed evaluating ego goes to an Oriental guru. And the guru has a little hammer to break egos. That's what's known as method. And the person comes then with this rock of an ego. The guru is used to things about as fragile as those things you hang on Christmas trees. And you come with your ego and you say, Guru, I want to get rid of my ego. So he takes the hammer, nothing happens. I know people who've had hammers hitting them for 40 years and nothing has happened. And they think it's something wrong with them. And this is psychologically bad news. This is important. You know the word sati? In Sanskrit it's spelled S-A-T-I, long I. That word sati comes from the verb to be. The woman who has thrown herself on her husband's funeral pyre and been burnt up with him has performed her duty as a wife. This is a long, long idea. The two are one. He has died. She has gone down into the death world as Inanna in the Sumerian story goes down to rescue Dumuzi or somebody like that. It's an old story as the woman's hero deed, giving up her life to join that with her husband and both achieve immortality through that. We say commit sati. In India they say the woman becomes sati. She becomes something. She is something. And the woman who doesn't do it is asati, is nothing. One's character is a function of one's identification with one's socially given duty, a totally different system from ours. Now, another thing to remember with the persona-personae system is this includes the morality as well. The morality of the culture is involved in this. So that morality is something you put on and put off. When in Rome, do as the Romans. And a lot of people have trouble with that. Now we come to the next business. Anima, animus. Nobody studies Latin anymore, so I have to tell you, that's a feminine noun and that's a masculine. The anima is the readiness in the masculine psyche to respond to a female presence. Put it that way. It's the ideal of woman that is in the psyche. This has, in each case, two aspects. One is the archetypal or collective anima image. All males are born with that readiness. But the other is the personal aspect. Now let us ask, how is the personal aspect rendered? The first object for a subject is mother. The child is born from the mother's body and is immediately put on the mother's body, and mother is the world. The child has had no other experience. The entire eros, the entire libido, the entire experience of object is of the mother. And the child is completely ready for that. The mother as environment and the child as the creature are perfectly matched. Child knows exactly what to do. Goes to the mother's breast and is now being nourished. Didn't have to be told this, what to do. The body is made to live in its environment. So the first object for any subject is a female object, the mother. And how does that mother behave? Is she glad to have the child, or does she resent it? All this comes through. Is she gentle? Is she skillful? And so forth and so on. This is the first determination of the anima structure. This is the personal experience, and it will differ from mother to mother. Then all images of woman later in experience rest on that. They build up this image and transform it, differentiate it, and so forth. So the male relationship to the female is based on a very singular ground, which in each individual experience will have its own character, personal, collective aspects. The experience of the male, as something else, comes later. I'm told somewhere in the second year. Up to that time, daddy has been mother's hairy helper. But now, and really not quite satisfactory either. Then what comes along around this other age crisis is the realization there is an essential difference here, and I'm on this side or that.